Welcome to part 2 of this series. In this video, we will prepare our SAP landscape. We will create and configure subaccounts for a multi-system landscape, development, quality, and production. We will enable Cloud Foundry and we will prepare SAP HANA for our applications. After this video, our BTP environment will be ready for deploying MTA applications. In the global account, we create a new subaccount. We can also create a directory to better structure our landscape. In this example, I create a directory to keep everything organized. For the name, we use a prefix followed by def, QS, or brut. Next, we select the region. For Germany, it was usually Europe, Frankfurt, AWS. We can enter a description if we want, and we leave the subdomain unchanged. Finally, we choose where we want to create the subaccount, either directly in the root or inside a directory we created before. Now we switch to the subaccount. Then we choose Enable Cloud Foundry. We must confirm that cost may occur, so we activate the required checkbox. Then we confirm and the Cloud Foundry is enabled. Now we create a space inside the Cloud Foundry. The name of the space depends on the subaccount. In this example, we use def, QS, and brut. The rest of the settings can be left unchanged. Then we create a space. This is the environment where our application will run. Now we switch back to the global account. We go to Entitlements and then to Entity Assignments. We select the corresponding subaccount and choose Edit. Now we add the required service plans. First, the SAP HANA Cloud. We need hana-td and Tools Application. And then the Build Work Zone Standard Edition. We need Standard Application, not this. Scroll down to Standard Application, add service plan, HANA schemas and HDI containers. At least this, and we need this first. And then we click Save. Back to the subaccount. We open Security and go to Trust Configuration. We click on Establish Trust and select tenant. If no tenant is available, we must create a custom identity provider first. I will link the corresponding video in the top right corner. After this step, the configuration should look similar to this. For SAP Build Work Zone, it is important that a custom identity provider for application is available. Without this provider, the application instance cannot be created. Now we go to the Service Marketplace in the subaccount. Here we create the following two applications. First, SAP Build Work Zone Standard Edition. And the Service Plan Standard. and the second SAP HANA Cloud, and the service plan tools. We can view our subscription and waiting until the processing is done. For these applications, we must assign the required roles to the user. We go to User, select the corresponding user, and then we click Assign Role Collection. Then we assign the following role collections: Connectivity and Destination Administrator, Launchpad Admin, Launchpad External User, SAP HANA Cloud Administrator, and SAP HANA Cloud Security Administrator. This process can be repeated for all required users. Users from other identity providers will only appear in the user list after you logged in with this IDP for the first time. Now we set up the hana-td service. There are two possible approaches. The first approach is to use SAP HANA Cloud tools. This method is more complex but also more flexible. The second approach is using the service marketplace. This is much simpler and faster. To demonstrate both approaches, I will create a new subaccount. First, the method that use the HANA Cloud tools. I'm doing this in the quality subaccount I just created. We open the HANA Cloud tools and log in. There we create a new instance. In this example, I use the basic preset. We enter the name, and define the password for the DB admin. We also allow all connection from all IP addresses, and then we create an instance. If an error message appears, it can be ignored. Just wait a moment and refresh the page. After the instance is created, this takes up to 5 minutes, we must manually create the instance mapping. We're going to the instance, manage configuration, and to instance mapping. And here we add a mapping. Here, choose Cloud Foundry is not pre-selected. Here, we need the organization ID and the space ID. We can copy the org ID directly from the BTP. The space ID can be found in the URL of the space. The org ID is also there, so we can determine both IDs at once. We can go to the tab of the BTP and enter the space. And this URL we copy and paste it in the editor. Here we can copy both IDs. The org ID is between org and space, this one. And the space ID is between space and application, this one. Now we copy this ID and paste the IDs. After this, we go into connection and allow all IP addresses. This we need later when we configure the CDS hybrid mode. We review and save changes. And now the method that used the service marketplace. I am doing this in the subaccount I created first. In the served marketplace, we get a new instance of the SAP HANA Cloud hana-td service plan. We must enter the name here. And we enter the password here. Going to the instance, this takes up to 5 minutes. After the instance is created, we open the SAP HANA Cloud tools and check the configuration. In connection, we allow all IP address, and in instance mapping, we are verify that the instance mapping is created. Review and save changes. Now SAP BTP and Cloud Foundry are ready. In the next part, we will create a CAP project with a backend, a Fiori Elements app, and a SAP UI5 app. Thank you for watching. I would really appreciate a like and a follow.